There are religious and there are spiritual elements here on both sides. So on the one hand, Ukraine has, when it comes to just the religiosity of the people, the practice of faith, actual practice, not a cultural identity, but the practice of faith. The Ukrainian people have been far more religious over the past century than the Russian people. Maybe 5 to 1 in terms of population's religiosity. And this has been particularly true over the past 25 years. And what makes Ukraine quite unique and distinct is the fact that it has had dynamic denominationalism for many, many years. And what I mean by that, and I'm using a term from Jose Casanova at Georgetown University, is the fact that Ukrainian Greek Catholics live and worship next to Ukrainian Orthodox citizens, and they worship next to Baptists, and Pentecostals, and many others, including the small Jewish and Muslim populations. And so that type of, if you want to call it religious toleration between different groups, and the fact that religious leaders were largely unified over the past 15 years in the drive for democracy and for pluralism, it makes Ukraine a very different place. In fact, a missionary sending place into Russia. In contrast, Russia has typically had in recent decades a very, very low level of citizen religiosity. But Vladimir Putin has used religious symbols and religious themes and practices and holidays and observances to buttress a new Russian nationalism, if you will, based on culture, based on the idea of Russia as a great empire from the past. And he's used religious elements in their diplomacy and in the building of this kind of new Russian patriotism, including the Russian Orthodox Church calling fighting in Syria and fighting in Ukraine some form of holy war.